are ready to go. And we go into the playing arena, handshakes, and we're off.
Round 2, let's do this. And okay, quick start to the game between Nakamura and Maxime Vachier Lagrave. Nakamura employing the same opening he tried against Wesley So in game 1, the Trompovsky attack. Unorthodox stuff, not often seen at this level. And both players desperate for the win in this one.
And this has shades of the World Chess Championship match back in 2016. It started with a Trompovsky, and Magnus, of course, he ended that remaining the world champion. But it's rich. It's not well studied at the highest level because it's not so common. But these players, they look at every single line under the sun, especially Hikaru, who plays so many games of chess. He's going for something that Maxime is not as familiar with as, say, a Grunfeld, which you talked about, Maxime being a leading expert.
Yeah, interesting strategy. Surprise effect, valued extremely highly by these players. And Nakamura forcing Maxime here to be the first one into the tank.
And you've got to be into the tank because Hikaru's just grabbed a pawn, and now he's hinting at holding on to that pawn for a long, long time. That last move with the A pawn moving forward, the B pawn is about to move forward to defend the C5. And in these positions, it's all about black eventually proving compensation based on the activity in the center.
Yeah, that being said, I mentioned it earlier today, every time I see Maxime play black, he's a pawn down. And here he does have severe compensation, actually, serious compensation, active pieces potentially, bishop pair, pawn center, and some pressure now. Yeah, big pressure on the queen side.
And you see that Hikaru develops his knight out, giving up this pawn on b4, so he's willing to return his extra pawn. There are definitely tactics in the air that he is relying on. But for Maxime, I don't see the danger in the position. And for himself, he better not overlook something because Hikaru wouldn't play down this variation unless he had something up his sleeve.
Yeah, do you think Maxime has looked at this as well? It's just breakneck speed, rushing up to this moment and all forcing stuff, level material yet again. And now a check, the black king hit by white's bishop. This is really direct stuff. It could go really badly wrong, as you mentioned, Robert, if Maxime isn't aware of what he should be doing. He needs to block this check. Do not move that black king. It'll be too exposed in the center. Big moment already.
But there is an issue for Maxime that he's trying to resolve right now. Is if you normally block a check with your bishop, but then after the white bishop captures, if the black queen captures back, there's a check on the final rank. That looks scary. Maybe there's nothing more to it than a single check. But we actually see Maxime allow queen to a8, and it's played by Hikaru, and king e7. Wow. What are we looking at here?
This is incredible, Tanya.
I was just going to say, this has got to be preparation. We're looking at some preparation. You don't just make the move king to e7, a capture on d7 with your queen, put that bishop to block there, allowing this line, unless you're familiar with this. Would that be an accurate judgment, David? Do you think Maxime knows this position?
I think Hikaru definitely does, judging by the fact he's kind of mic drop, just got up from the board there. Maxime probably is aware as well. It's all been very forcing stuff, but normally you take a bit of time at least, especially if you know your opponent has kind of cooked this up at home. You smell a rat, you sit there looking for options, you try and dodge their preparation, but Maxime's confidently played down this line. He spent a couple of minutes, yes, but now the first real think of the game. just fantastic, fantastic stuff. And here we see Nakamura deep in action now against Vachier Lagrave. This one we joined a lot earlier. This is now kind of middle game, end game phase, but Maxime Vachier Lagrave on the back foot. He's defending, retreating the Black Queen, both sides under the 1 minute mark. What is happening here?
A lot of indecision there, panic there by Hikaru as he wasn't sure which piece to move. They're playing on seconds. Hikaru with 7 seconds on the clock. Maxime, 7 seconds on the clock. You want to get that knight into f5, but is there enough time? The rook was hanging.
And look at Maxime. He's trying to trade off that rook, and the rooks are gone. And, oh, no, the queen got stuck again on c8. The engine went crazy, but that queen did recapture. Isn't black just up a couple pawns here?
Black is 2 pawns up, you're right, Robert, and that should normally be decisive, but queen and knight often do so well against queen and bishop, and the white queen, the white knight do have squares. Black's king not too safe in the corner, so anything could happen, but ooh, wow, Nakamura picking up the queen, putting it back, panicking, the clock is ticking. I've never seen him this nervous before.
Yeah, maybe it's the birthday jitters. I mean, he is not having a good time today. Wesley So took him down, and right now against Maxime Vachier Lagrave, he's on the back foot, and he's barely getting his moves off.
He's still a few pawns down as well. He's giving some checks with the white knight, landing his queen now, but the black king is running. Maxime should be winning this game, should be taking it. Wow. Okay, he needs to go for checkmate. Look at the shake of the head there, Nakamura. He is not happy at all.
Oh,
he's
never seen Hikaru like this. And the king just runs. The king just runs, and it's all extra pawns. It's all Maxime Vachier Lagrave. One's been picked up, but it is that B pawn that's going to be decisive.
And what has happened there? He's just dropped his bishop, Maxime Vachier Lagrave, suddenly, and it's game on again. A big blunder on the board. Ignore the live board there in the corner. It's chaos on the physical OTB board here right now. Suddenly it's a 3-result game. White has an extra knight. Black has a bunch of pawns running. But Nakamura, just as he was shaking his head, Vachier Lagrave blundered. And wow, twists and turns, hard to predict now.
And maybe with the inserted board incorrect, we can zoom in on the actual board to see what's happening, because apparent that Maxime made a mistake giving Hikaru a new chance. And Hikaru, he needs to make the most of it because he's off to a bad start. He's been struggling. But when your opponent blunders, you need to capitalize.
And he has a chance to repeat the moves, Hikaru. Look at the body language. Is he going to bail out with the draw? He can keep checking the black king.
He's doing it.
Handshake, a peace agreement in what was one of the most chaotic games of the event.
Absolute drama. The Champions Chess Finals as this one ends in a draw.